Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conquer the Frontier at the New Frontier. Nordic and I have reached episode number 29 and are now in sunny May of year 4. We are starting where we finished last time, in front of the silage bunker near the BGA, and that is because we did a fresh little cut of the area next to Creekside Field, and also we mowed up Albert Park, which was fully grown, and we've got 97,572 litres in here, fermenting nicely at 67%. But unfortunately, Nordic and I have been doing some planning of what we're going to be doing today, and some of it involves some more mowing. So today, Nordic and I are going to have to build a separate bunker, but not before we get the next materials to the farmhouse, which is 4 sets of planks long. I think Nordic is going to hop in the pickup after us, and it'll be interesting to see the farmhouse built, because it has been progressing very, very well. I think I might take the long way around here, just so I'm not turning too sharply. But yes, Nordic and I are going to be placing a second silage bunker, and I think that's going to be pretty good, to be honest, because it's nice to have 2 bunkers so you can alternate for one fermenting and one for loading. If we weave round here, we should be able to see the fantastic farmhouse that is taking shape through the mist. Wow, it is really looking very nice indeed. There we go. That is the materials loaded up, and I don't think it's going to be too long before the farmhouse is built. What do you think, Nordic?
Yes!
But whilst the farmhouse is building, Nordic and I have got some other expansion on our mind. We think that we have kind of exhausted all of the space that we have available to us in our little quadrant here. And we don't really want to be doing too much more forestry to clear more field space. So because the bank balance is looking very nice, I think it is time for us to buy a new patch of land. And we've considered a few options. We thought about expanding into area 44, which means we could extend Creekside sideways, but that costs 190,000, so that was a little bit on the pricey side. And that's when we noticed area 41, which is a rather cheap 72,000. And just further south of it is area 49 as well for 124,000. And so for the roughly the same cost of the total cost of area 44, we will be able to buy area 41 and 49. But for today, we're just going to buy area 41 and look to plough up a field, but not before we've cleared a few trees and mown the grass and got the grass into a bunker. But let's buy this for 72,000. Well, there we go, Nordic. We are even bigger landowners now. Right, I am going to get some of the tractors ready with the winches, as we've got a couple of small patches of trees to clear down. And also we will have to clear the trees next to our current silage bunker, as we need to make space for another one to go in there. And yeah, we should have enough space between the chicken coop and the current silage bunker to fit another. Right, in terms of winching tractors, we want the Fendt and we also want the steer. So let's get those both attached to a winch and reverse in next to our new drill, which I'm hoping we are going to be able to use later on today. The plan is that for area 41, we want to clear the trees, get them winched away, do a mow of the grass, windrow and forage collect it to put into a new silage bunker, and then plough, lime and drill. So it's a bit of a tall order of tasks today. We're fairly confident that we can make some good headway. Alright, that is the winch on the steer as well. So we will wait for Nordic to approach and we can get started with some cutting and winching. I do like it when the exhaust laps like that. Nordic is toddling over and we've got the winch. Okay, yeah, we can grab the stump grinder as well, Nordic has just told me. And that's probably because we might have a large tree in the vicinity somewhere, but we'll see how we get on. It is actually quite a bit easier managing the stumps with the stump grinder. Right, let's head on over to our new piece of land. Crikey, it's a bit misty down here, but we can see that the crops on either side in Veterans Park and Longfield are looking pretty good. And this area down here to the right, and also to the left-hand side of the road, but we're only going to focus on the right-hand side today, is our new patch of land. Fantastic. Let's take a good view of it, because it does stretch quite far, and considering the price, I think it is fairly clear of trees, which benefits us at this moment in time, because we obviously want field space. So yeah, I'm not sure how the land is priced in New Frontier. Maybe the more trees there are, the higher the price, but I'm not too sure. But these are the small clusters of trees that we want to clear out the way, so we can make a relatively square field. And we're going to winch these between the sawmill and the wood chipping. Okay, I think Nordic is just surveying the area, but we are going to don the axe, and yeah, we're not using the forestry machine this time. It's just going to be simple chopping and winching for ease of time. But we'll get this all cleared away, plus the trees next to the silage bunker, and yeah, should be done in a jiffy. Alright then, well, after some very slow winching from this area where the new silage bunker is going to go, we have got a cleared new field space which we're going to plough up later, but not before we mow, windrow and forage wagon it. And then we are also going to place a silage bunker here. Talk of the devil, it has constructed. Well, placing the other bunker has wiped out a little bit of silage that was in the bunker next to it, but they are meant to place side by side. Nordic is just doing a little bit of leveling around, so I think what I'm going to do is sort out the tractors for the next job, which is going to be mowing, but we'll need the steer later, probably for operating the drill. So let's get this parked away, and yes, I think we're actually going to upgrade the smaller mower that we have as well, because that will be very, very useful. Let's straighten up this stump grinder and we can get it parked next to the excavator. Alright, we can grab the larger mower with the steer. Well, the Fent is pretty quick in reverse. And we want to grab the smaller mower, which we're going to trade in for another Kuhn mower. I can appreciate the area that we are going to be clearing a little bit better now that the mist has gone. But I'm going to swap out this mower for another Kuhn mower and then join Nordic back at the field so we can mow that up. It shouldn't take us too long. And then we are going to get straight on to windrowing and forage wagoning. Alright, we can drop off the class mower to sell there. Sold for 8,100. And we can buy another Kuhn GMD 4411 for 18,000. It is 4.4 meters wide and takes 80 horsepower, which is fine for the Fent. Right, we can just reverse to attach the Kuhn mower. And what I like about this mower is it stays straight backwards when it's in transport mode, which is much better for navigating around. Look out, dear. We have got some mowing to go and do. So I'm going to go meet Nordic at the field and we can crack on with mowing that area. And then we will windrow and forage wagon. wheels away. Windrow wheels, that is. And we have managed to make some nice tidy rows of our grass. Nordic is busy doing the forage wagoning. I think he's got about a trailer and a half to take to the silage bunker, the new silage bunker. And yeah, that's filling up quite nicely. Won't be particularly full, but having 2 silage bunkers is pretty good, as it allows us to have one for loading and one that's actively fermenting, or that's got silage in that we can unload from. So always good to have 2, maybe even 3 if you can get that operating well. But it's always a good idea when you're clearing space of trees and so forth that you actually make use of the grass before you plough, because if we were to just plough that in, we'd obviously waste a lot of the grass. But yeah, it's good to make use of it, and as you can see, there is a rather nice quantity there. And as mentioned beforehand, unfortunately, when we placed that second bunker, it did erase some of the grass that was fermenting in the first silage bunker. But yeah, that's not too much of a problem, because we are obviously adding to it now with the fresh field that we have cut. Right, I'm going to put the windrower in the new part of the shed, which is down here. I think we're going to need to move that oil drum or fuel drum and the little service station that we have got there. Looks like we have mower in front of mower. We can put the windrower next to the mowers, as this looks to be the designated area for grass equipment. So yeah, anything grass, hay or silage can go here, which is lovely. I don't know actually if we own a tedder. We might have a small one from early days, but yeah, I don't think we've needed to actually have hay yet. But Nordic and I were actually thinking about getting some cows potentially later in the year, so we will investigate that at some point. There we go, windrower dropped off. We are not going to need the Massey, so we can leave that there. Actually, tell a lie, let's start the Massey up. It needs a service and some fuel, so let's just get that seen to. Whilst we are in it, deers are picking away at some of the stuff that's on the sideline of the field. And we'll just back the tractor onto the service ramp so we can get underneath it. There we go, 1200 in parts, but it is fully serviced and fully fueled, which is nice. Right, Massey parked up. We will hop in the steer, get that started up. We can get the plough that we use for the steer, and we can get the Fendt one out of the shed as well for when Nordic has returned. Actually put Nordic's Fendt plough on the front and the steer on the rear. There we go, Nordic is dropping another load in here. I think what we might do is start compacting for him whilst he goes and fetches whatever is left. But 103,000 litres so far, so let's get compacting. Right, there we go, 100% compacted. Nordic and I are going to leave that uncovered, as we might want to just leave it uncovered until we uncover the next one. Just going to put the plough there for Nordic to pick up. There we go. He can reverse and grab that as we go. Right, fantastic. We can move on to ploughing the area that we have cleared of trees, mowed and windrowed and forage wagoned. And yeah, we should have enough time later on today to do some liming and some drilling. We want to drill this month if we can, because it's the last month that we can drill sorghum, and that is always a really nice crop to get in, as it's got quite a short growing window. It's only a few months from germinating through to being fully ready to harvest. But we can unfold the plough. We will set the direction kind of where we were for mowing. There we go, make sure we're creating fields, lower away, and off we go. holding up the winged plough. And that is that area nicely turned into a field, which, yeah, is a decent sized field for how few trees we had to clear, which is really nice. Potentially don't really need a name for this field, because I think the intention is we'll merge it into the centre of Veterans Park, which has two extensions now. One at the top, which looks like a bit of a point, and what we've just ploughed at the bottom of the hill, which is a nice square. So it's, yeah, overall going to be an interestingly shaped field, but we do like our fields to have a little bit of character. But yeah, that should be a nice size field, and once we've harvested all the crops from there, we will merge it into one. But for the next job, we have got both liming and drilling to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in the Fent after Nordic has parked up the plough. Nordic will probably take the steer and run the drill, and that should suffice, I think, for us getting the liming and the drilling done. Sorghum, as mentioned. Right, we're in the Fent, and we need to grab some lime. We've got the steer attached to the drill, because that's the highest horsepower. Right, where have we got lime? I can't really see any big bags of lime, unless they're hidden here somewhere. So, interesting findings. We don't have any lime, so we're going to have to go down to the dealership. And also, we have just reminded ourselves that seed drills cannot actually drill sorghum. We need a planter for that. So Nordic is going to be putting the John Deere box drill back into the shed, and we've just spotted a Kverland planter that will be suitable for the steer to pull and to put sorghum in the field that we have just ploughed. And it will give us obviously our first planter, which opens up a whole new set of crops, which will be nice, as Nordic and I have talked about doing some sunflower, some corn in the future, plus many other crops. So yeah, we'll go to the dealership, buy some lime, buy a new planter. I think the planter is going to be fairly pricey, but considering we bought a new patch of land, we're actually in profit still, because we keep getting a good amount of funds from both our wood chipper, which is supplying wood chips to our sawmill, and then the sawmill itself, which is building wood goods or building materials with both wood chips and the wood that we've put into it. It's got quite a good supply, so yeah, we are really in money making mode at the moment. Right, we'll just pull up here, buy the lime, and Nordic will probably buy the planter. 8 bags of lime, 3,600. Filling up the lime, and Nordic has just arrived with the steer to buy the new planter. And here it is, the Kverland Optima RS. I think it's about 9 meters wide. And it will take seed and solid fertilizer, I believe, in this hopper. Seeds go in the planting boxes. It has a transport mode where Nordic is going to hitch up here, and then I think when he wants to actually plant, he will hitch up to this section, and yeah, he'll be able to sort of change the direction of it. It's a pretty clever system. Right, we will follow Nordic back. We've got surplus lime here, which we can come and pick up at a later time if we need to. But yeah, I think what we'll do is head back to the field. We'll get a good start on liming, and Nordic will probably have to head back and grab some seed, grab some fertilizer, and then return to do the start of the planting. Super job. Well done, Nordic. He's finished planting all of the sorghum, which is awesome. And yeah, we can take stuff back to the shed. And I think that it is it for today. It has been a rather busy one. Obviously got the building materials to our farmhouse. It'll be interesting to see how that is progressing next time. Then we bought our first piece of new land on the New Frontier Creekside farm, which we chopped down a few trees, got that into the sawmill and the wood chipper. Then we mowed up, windrowed and forage wagoned into a second bunker, which we have built, which we will probably cover early next time. And then we ploughed up the new field and had to purchase a planter so we could plant sorghum, and we also limed that field up. So that is pretty good. I think all fields are full of crop, which is very, very nice indeed. I wonder where Nordic is going to put the planter. Maybe in the other side of the new shed, or maybe next to the box drill that is over there. That probably seems sensible to have drill and planting equipment together. Right, spreader dropped off. I must remember that we've got lime over at the dealership if we need. And yeah, it'll be nice to make use fully of this new part of the shed. We've moved the grass equipment into it, and it looks like Nordic is backing up the planter to where the drill is, so that makes optimum sense. Well done, Nordic. Good job planting. There we go. That is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Nordic's channel for his perspective of today's session. And as always, if you've got any tips, tricks, or things you'd like us to do, feel free to leave a comment. All that's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on Conquer the Frontier at the New Frontier. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.